Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the InfiniteVibez, sending InfiniteVibez away. So I've been wanting to make a YouTube channel for quite a bit. What I will be touching on are contents in regards to tarot, oracle, human design, and genetic coding. The goal of this content is to basically help you step into your quantum being, your quantum power, your quantum abilities. And the more you stick along, the further along you go with me, the more of an understanding you're going to have in regards to what a lot of this stuff is. Like, what is human design? How do I use tarot? How do I use oracle? And other esoteric aspects as well, that I will be coming to you with in regards to content. So if this is something that you're interested in, stay tuned. This is the intro, and this is Mugen sending InfiniteVibez your way. Peace and love. So, guys, the reason why I'm talking about human design, right, and I'm going to focus on human design primarily in this topic, is the introduction video, because it's not something that's very well known. Not too many people have heard of it. Those that have, we're kind of still learning about it. It's been around for quite a little bit. And the main thing about human design is there are five archetypes of human beings as we currently know, right? The first one is the generator. Okay, and what the generator does is the generator has an enveloping aura. All right, the generator makes up of 32% of the world's population, and so this is where all the other designs and the other mechanics kind of stem from, right? And so we live in a society where a lot of people think they have to manifest this and manifest that, but there's a lot of people in this society that are meant to just be human beings, to generate energy, to generate outcome and income and all that type of stuff. The generator's power and technique works extremely well when they are patient. And in today's society where everything is go, 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 because we've been under the rulership of manifestors for a very long time. And manifestors, the way they're programmed to operate, the way they're programmed to work, is to continue to initiate. And so this is why you have people who want to manifest but aren't capable of manifesting because it's not necessarily in their mechanics, right? This is not to say that you can't manifest if you're not a manifester, but as a generator, the way you basically bring about, quote unquote, this aspect of manifestation or initiation is by listening to your sacral authority and being patient in regards to the response. All right. Now, the second archetype is the manifester. This is what I was mentioning earlier, right? This used to be a large percentage of the population. It's recently reduced down to the number of 9%. They traded place with the projectors. At first it was a lot more manifestors and a lot less projectors. Now there's 32% of projectors and 9% of manifestors. So there's been a switch, kind of like a switch in the role in regards to where society is headed, right? And this is a major shift that we need to take into account, because manifestors, in the past, as I mentioned earlier, these are the people who've been running things for thousands, centuries of years, where it's all about initiate, what's next. They're the reason we have the political structures we have today. They're the reasons we have a lot of things. If it wasn't for manifestors, we probably would not have, TVs, telephones, a lot of things, right? They came about because of the manifestation, right? And now we're reaching a time in which we want to understand in which direction to use all these things we manifested, right? And so that's why before, where it's essential for manifestors to be, at the top of the food chain, to be in charge, to take the lead, to take command and take control of the scenarios and all the situations that have been going on. Now it's becoming more of a situation for projectors, right? And the reason being is because projectors are able to allocate the direction in which people can use the mechanics. Projectors have this capability of being able to see what works best in what field. Most of the projectors we have today are the CEOs. They're the people who run companies. They're the people who are in charge of, running many businesses. And so manifestors, right? They have usually emotional authorities. If it's not emotional authority, it's going to be splenic. But majority of the time splenic authorities, and they all have a defined throat. And so a manifestor is able to, always manifest because the throat is a major manifestation point. The throat, the spleen, and the solar plexus, and the root as well. These 4 points are all, major manifestation points. But I'm going to talk about these defined centers and these manifestation points in another video. This video is just to pretty much just give you guys the basic setup of these 5 archetypes, right? And so you have the manifestor, who kind of sees into the future. The manifestor is always thinking ahead. They're always the people who are about what's next. They're the ones who initiate the group. The generator gathers the group, and then the manifestor initiates the group. The manifestor is like, we should go do this and we should go do that, right? And so if the generator comes along with a manifestor, it's very likely going to be a huge group of people who follow suit, who follow that aspect of, where the mechanic is leading, right? And so this is why you have a lot of politicians who are manifestors and a lot of Congress people who are generators, all right? And this leads me to the next evolutionary point, which is the third point, is the manifesting generator, okay? Now, the manifesting generator is a bit different from a generator and a manifestor. The manifesting generator waits for the right moment to initiate. They wait for the gut response before they initiate, whereas the generator pretty much has to wait for things to present, for things to come to it, for things to present itself to it, right? So a generator, if you're a generator and you're getting up and you're going around doing a million things looking to manifest a certain reality, it's not going to work for you, because you're meant to wait and let things come to you before you are able to initiate. You don't even have to manifest. If you're a generator, just let things come to you, right? A manifestor gets up and initiates. They wake up, it's like, I gotta go surf, now I gotta go meditate, now I gotta go work out, now I gotta go do this, now I gotta go do that. The manifestor's always on to the next thing. The manifesting generator waits for the approval of the generation, right? Which is the sacral authority, right? The strategy and the authority, which is the sacral authority for a generator, for a manifesting generator. And so, as a manifesting generator, what happens is you generate a situation and then you initiate. All right. So, in the moment of you being still, in the moment of you in the arrival point, say point A, you're in the arrival point, you're getting ready to go about your day, to go, get the day started and all that type of stuff, you are in the point of generating. When you leave the door, right, this is you in the process of manifesting. So on the way to this location, you're manifesting a situation, you're manifesting a scenario, and you've been doing it the entire time you've been getting ready. You've been manifesting how your day is going to go, right? But the manifestation does not begin until the moment you open up your door, and then you leave the door, and then you go out there, and now it's just manifestation points until you find another point of generation. So say you get up and you leave your room, and then you walk down, you go to the coffee shop, and you have some coffee. You getting up and leaving the room, you being in your room was you generating, right? What you wanted to generate ended up manifesting the moment you opened up the door, walked down the street, and went to the coffee shop. You could have been thinking about cats, you could have been thinking about dogs, so on the way to the coffee shop, you begin to see certain things or certain people in regards to what it is that you were in the process of manifesting when you were in the initial generator state, okay? Now, and I'm going to go more into this, throughout more of the channels. I'm actually going to break these down individually. So, stay tuned. I'm going to go more in depth. I don't expect you guys to fully understand what it is I'm talking about just yet. But the more you tune into this information, the more you pay attention to what it is I'm giving out to you, this information, the more this will begin to make sense, and the more you'll begin to realize how much of a quantum being, of a quantum species you are, okay? Now, moving on, the projector, okay? Now, the projector does not have as much energy as a generator, manifesting generator, or a manifestor, all right? The similarities of a manifestor and a projector is that they both usually don't have sacral authorities. The reason why there's manifesting generators is because this is a manifestor with a sacral authority, okay? Manifestors usually don't have sacral authorities. They either have defined spleens or defined solar plexus or defined roots, and they all connect to the throat. All right. And so projectors, they don't have defined sacral energies. They can have anything else in their chart defined, but their sacral authority, and that would be a projector. Now, projectors, there's actually several different types of projectors. I'm going to break that down in another video. In this video, I'm just going to focus on the main characteristics. That being, they don't have the sacral authority. Projectors hate being told what to do. They hate working, in essence. Like they don't have the energy for it, right? If you're a projector, you want to move at your own pace, at your own time. You know, you don't have the energy or the capability to wake up in the morning and have a job in the morning, have a job in the afternoon, and have a job in the evening, and then go to bed. For a projector, this seems implausible. And so when they see other people doing it, like the manifesting generator, they're kind of like, how are you doing this, right? And it's just because you don't have, the projectors just don't have that capability of keeping up with that energy, because they don't have a sacral energy point. Okay, projectors are usually good at leading projects. So, you know, a projector is usually the type of person who is likely to see the missing pieces and be like, hey, this mechanic will work well doing this, this mechanic will work well doing that. And so you often find them as coaches, as you know, people who, you know, I mentioned earlier, but CEOs, people kind of like holding the pieces, right? Holding the puzzle pieces. And so they work well in that essence. Projectors and manifestors can oftentimes bump heads. The reason why I say this is because manifestors hate being told what to do, and projectors usually want to direct people and let them know what it is that they need to do. Okay, so that's the projector. The last one, the fifth one, a very new archetype, is the reflector. And the reflector is a new archetype that just, you know, came about. It's fairly new. They're only 1% of the population. And so a reflector is, they're here to experience. They're here for the new thing. Like, they're the people who have to consistently be experiencing things, consistently be surprising themselves throughout their whole life, right? And so a reflector is the type of person who can be with one person 1 week, and then the next week they're in a whole complete, you know, they're with somebody else who's completely different, right? And so this ties back into the importance of understanding mechanics in regards to relationships, in regards to many other things. If you're dealing with a reflector and you go and you have the experience 1 week, the next week it's not going to be the same thing. The next week they could very well hate you for some random reason. Or the next week they might be on a plane going to Thailand for, you know, for God knows how long, right? And so they're here to experience stuff. And if you hold them back and you try to tell them they can't experience these things, they're not going to necessarily enjoy being around your company. Reflectors, unlike the other mechanical archetypes, right? They take the energy in from the moon. The direction comes from the moon. The other mechanical archetypes, they take in the energy from the sun, right? And so you have reflectors who, you know, when making major decisions, reflectors should usually wait for a full moon. You want to be very mindful of the type of archetypes you have around you, mechanical archetypes, when you are making these major decisions, right? You also, a lot of other people who do mechanics, they think that it's only during the full moon. From the research I've done, and, you know, just me being in the field, I always strongly tell reflectors that, you know, just pay attention to the moon forecast rather than the sun forecast, right? So the sun is in Pisces right now. The moon is in, I believe, Virgo. And so if, you know, as a reflector, what you're going to be feeling more than anything is that Virgo moon more than the Pisces sun. The other archetypes, right, the generator, projector, manifesting generator, and manifestor, they're going to be feeling the energy from the sun. And so for the reflector, you're here to reflect everything that, you know, those other four archetypes are feeling, right? And, you know, you're here to experience things. You're here to enjoy life, you know. So as a reflector, you know, growing up, a lot of people would tend to brand you as somebody who may have had ADHD, bipolar disorder, all these type of things, right? And it's just because people don't understand reflectors, right? Reflectors, they're almost like aliens. It's kind of like they come here and they're like, what is this? What's a garbage can? What's a car? You know, they're sniffing things, they're touching things. That's a reflector, right? And so they might be a bit weird to you initially, but, you know, growing up, if a reflector can push through that, you know, major misunderstanding that society throws onto them, if the reflector can push through all the aspects of, you know, confusion and stuff like that, they will eventually get to a point where life is actually fun to them, and so they'll stop trying to run back to the Garden of Eden or, you know, Source, right? They begin to enjoy life and the people that they surround themselves with, and the best way to do that is by throwing them more experiences. Right? So as a reflector, if you do your mechanical, if you do your human design reading, and you come out as a reflector, you know, you would likely want to be somebody who's traveling quite a bit, you know, exploring different things, working with animals, being in the environment more than being around other people, because this can be a bit overstimulating. I know some reflectors will actually shut down because they're taking in way too much information from the other mechanics in the environment, right? I also know some reflectors who have actually been bottle girls, which is very interesting to me. But again, it's all for the experience. She wasn't a bottle girl for too long, but it was something that she did for quite a bit. And so, you know, being a reflector, understand that your wants and your needs are going to always be changing, and it might be a bit difficult for people to understand that, but it's also very crucial. All right, and so those are the 5 mechanical archetypes we went through: generator, manifestor, manifesting generator, projector, and reflector. All right, and so I'm just gonna leave this intro here for now. You know, look out for more content coming my way. If you want to book a human design reading, feel free. There's a link in my bio on my Calendly. You can book a session with me. We can go over one-on-one meditation, tarot, oracle readings as well. Whatever it is that you need advice on, you know, I'm here to provide that advice for you, and you can, you know, we can have these one-on-one sessions on the Calendly. Also look out for the Patreon. I'm going to be starting a Patreon very soon with more content and more videos, going very much in depth in all these things that I just spoke to you about. You know, I'm actually going to have courses and classes on how to best maneuver your mechanics in specific channels. And yeah, follow my Instagram as well. I look forward to connecting with a lot of you. This is Digital Drip here, sending infinite vibes your way, and I hope to see you soon. I'll catch you next time. Peace.